Anyways, hi, hello. I'll keep it short because can't think of a good intro, and they're gonna laugh at me. And I won't be, laughed at. Anyways, this is gonna be a bit not too serious, but a bit more serious-ish video. Gonna talk about anger today. Anger is as it's as unnecessary as it is. No, actually, it is necessary. It's just not really helpful for a lot of people.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Can you go?
Yeah, it's so I wanted to keep it short.
It's worse. It's almost worse when you try to keep it short because you don't know what you're gonna say.
You're coming up with it as you go. I can tell. But
it's fine. It's fine. Who cares?
Yeah, that's a metaphor for my whole life, really.
Nice. Comedy.
Anyways, I feel like I'll have a lot of stories about this, but I just want to get off to the topic real quick.
I'm sorry, did you just say that you don't have a lot of stories?
No, I do have a lot of stories.
I was going to say, because you have the worst anger issues out of everyone here.
Why would you add the word do? I do have a...
I didn't... Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so I'm just going to get to the first question before I get to my point. Anytime you guys been angry and just, look back at it years later and just regret it?
Anyone that says that they've never been angry is a fucking liar.
Or unhealthy.
Yeah, or you just suppress all your emotions.
What, bro? Angry? What's that?
No.
What was the other half where you look back and what?
So, like, you all been angry at some point at some different levels, but you look back on it years later and it's like, why the fuck did I ever do that?
No.
Like, you regret it.
No.
Right?
No, because the thing about the problem with that question is, in order for you to look back on a time and say, oh, I regretted being angry, that is so toxic to yourself, because you're basically saying, like, oh, I didn't have a reason to feel the way that I felt. No, you did. Like, you can't change the way that you feel about something. You can't change your morals or your values or whatever it is that led you to feel that way. So if you say, well, I shouldn't have felt this way, because you're basically invalidating your own feelings. And you probably do that because someone else has probably told you that you're not supposed to feel a certain type of way about something, which is just flat out wrong.
Do you mean expressing your anger in an unhealthy way? And
yeah, you can express anger in an unhealthy way, but you cannot be wrong for feeling what you feel.
I think that's what you meant, right, Kendall? Like, you break something.
Maybe the way you went about it
probably wasn't the best.
Yeah,
have you ever done? You're saying, have you done something out of the anger that you kind of look back and like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I should have said that. Done something out of anger. It's like something similar to that you kind of regret looking back and now thought it was like stupid.
I wouldn't say stupid. See, I feel like you're using bad words too. Like, there's
very bad.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say expressing your anger is ever stupid. Like, I can say that you probably regretted how
over the top, maybe.
Yeah, over the top, or just being like, okay, I probably did more damage than good. Maybe. Yeah, but you can't be wrong for feeling a certain type of way. And like, if you feel that way about something, like, you can always grow and be like, I should deal with this healthier. But if it's gonna be unhealthy, then it's just unhealthy, Ethan has a lot of unhealthy... You definitely... And this is why I think this is interesting, because you definitely, Kendall, have a lot of unhealthy ways to deal with your anger. Like, you don't... Kendall and Ethan, both of y'all. Just because... And y'all do the opposite thing. Because y'all do the opposite things. Kendall will have an outburst, but then he won't talk about how he's actually feeling. And I feel like this is really common with men. Not really, like, they're really quick to have an outburst or act on their anger or get loud, but when it comes time for y'all to talk about why y'all feel that way, or maybe what it was that hurt your feelings, or just being like, hey, like, I really didn't appreciate this, and this, y'all are so quick to get loud about it, but y'all never explain to people why, or just saying that it bothers you in general. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's very common in men, especially men like our age, just because it's so common for people to tell men growing up, like, that it's almost wrong to talk about your emotions, or wrong to kind of deal with your emotions a certain way or talk about them because it comes across as feminine. And just that kind of toxic masculinity rubs off on it presents itself in young adult men very harshly. Do you know what I mean? Is that making sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I slapped the shit out of Angel one time.
All right, well.
That's probably mine.
Do you know why you did it?
Yeah.
Makes sense. I would say.
You know what?
Hey,
I can't say what I want to say on this podcast right now.
damn. Well, that
I'm
hurts
on.
me.
I'm on record, but
Digital footprint.
it was my angry outburst. And it was like there was no reason for me to be that upset and burst out like that.
Oh, no, I was talking about a different time.
Oh.
For the
Is that
record,
not-
I've slapped Angel multiple times.
That's
But if you're talking about a time where it was like where I could have gone about my emotions better, I can think about one good time. The time he's talking about, he deserved that shit, and I don't regret that shit at all.
Yeah, probably.
I don't. Ethan's laughing. I don't give a fuck. Like, he deserved that shit. He did. Sorry.
No, and then I think about it. I'm like, yeah.
I want to say this though. I do not condone domestic violence or hitting your partners or anything like that to get your point of. I don't condone that, but it's important to know. I don't know. We'll probably get into the story later, but I don't condone that.
It's one of those things where it's like you just need something over the top to be like, all right,
bring you back to
bring you back down. Not necessarily get the point across, but be like you see on TV shows and cartoons, just yeah, it's like you get a hold of yourself. Same.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there you go. That's it.
It worked the same way.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see who's gonna go. Ethan, have a story about this you want to talk about? Fucking better.
Ethan gets very angry.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, I'll give you time. I'll let's see.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Guess a number I'm thinking of.
10.
Between what and what?
Yeah, you didn't give us a
1 and 10.
Oh, okay, well,
Why
3.
Three and 10. Angel, you go first.
I was picked out, but okay.
You were.
I don't know. It's been a whole bunch of times where I've acted out angrily, but I think one of the ones that I've had to grow from a lot, because it cost me a lot of money, was playing the game and losing a game in a stupid manner, or feeling like my control messed up, or if my control, like stick drift. People who know what that is.
Yeah.
And you just take it out on the control. It cost me way too much money. I had to grow out of that habit. I had to grow out of the habit of breaking something that irritated the shit out of me. And it was over small shit. I lost the game. And that has then also opened my eyes, because it's like, well, if I'm getting this upset over a game, who's to say I won't do that to a person? I'm having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
You got to grow out of that mentality of, well, it's just a controller. Well, no, it's not. It's not just a controller, because it's
all the things
it's all the things that it can be.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, like a lot of men do that. Like, I think Ethan's. Have you ever broken controller, Ethan?
2 controllers, 1 phone, and
this is what I'm saying.
About 4 or 5 holes in the wall.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's so common for men to take their anger out on inanimate objects or other people.
Anything I can grab.
Just because it's like an outburst. And the thing that I've realized, like, seeing it happen, is like it has nothing to do with what they're currently doing. It's just like whatever it was that they were doing was like the last straw. Like, it just toppled over. You know what I mean? Like, it's I feel like men would not have as many outbursts. I know Angel definitely doesn't. If you would just talk about your shit. You know, like, it really is that simple. And I feel like men are the most complicated about that fact. Like, I feel like we need to normalize men talking about their emotions.
Sometimes you just need to cry, too. Like, sometimes I'd be having a frustrating day, and like I said, breaking the controller because of the game.
I cried today.
I've cried over the game, but not because of the game, but because I wanted to just relax, and it was...
There was a precursor, and then
Yes,
yeah.
I had a shit day, you know, I went to school, I tripped up the stairs, I dropped my lunch.
Some kid poured a Slurpee on a big gulp on my shirt. And then
and then I get home to relax. Why did that signal?
It's because nobody comes to Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I get home to relax, and it's not relaxing, and I'm just like, you know what, I give up on today.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm done. Fuck this shit.
You know, tomorrow's a different day, so it's easy. I think it's better and healthier to cry than to shatter $50 worth of hardware.
My thing is
or
like...
for me, like $600 of a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's terrible.
Like, I think not only that, but a key part of it that I've noticed that women do that men don't do is y'all wait until y'all are feeling, like, overly emotional about it. Does that make sense? Like, y'all wait until y'all have multiple things that y'all are upset about. Like, and I do this all the time to Angel. Like, the second I'm upset about one thing, I'll talk about it for, like, 15 minutes. And he's like, well, I don't understand why you do that. I'm like, would you rather me have this conversation with you calmly for 15 minutes, or would you rather me wait 6 months, a year, get tired of your shit, and then leave, and then you're like, well, I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's worth it in the long run to just sit there and have those conversations, I think. It's healthier, like, once, as stuff is coming up, you know? Because it allows you to slowly process how you're feeling about stuff. And it also allows everyone around you to understand where you're at mentally and emotionally. And I feel like that's so, so important. Like, speaking as a woman that have, like, dealt with men that, like, have those kinds of issues, y'all always get so frustrated and don't want to talk about it. And then the second someone's like, oh, well, what's wrong? You never talk to me. Like, I don't understand what's going on with y'all. Then you're like, well, I just don't understand why everyone's on my ass and blah, 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 blah. And then if you don't talk about it, what I've really noticed about it is y'all won't talk about it. And then someone will be like, well, I just don't know what's going on with you. And you're like, well, yeah, no one understands me. No one, like, yeah, because you don't fucking tell no one, you know? Like, you can't have it both ways. You have to talk about your shit if you want to be understood. People are not mind readers. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish. As you know, I don't wish.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Odd no.
I think that's something that a lot of people our age need to realize, especially in relationships. Like, people are not mind readers. Your boyfriend or girlfriend, like, cannot read your mind. If you don't tell them that something is bothering you, or even in friendships and stuff, or, like, households, if you don't tell the people around you that you're dealing with on a daily basis that something bothers you, they're not going to know any better. And if they keep doing it, it's not necessarily because they're out to get you, but it's because you have not set that boundary. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's important to do that. If you want people to understand, you have to give them, you have to set that way for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even if it's at, like, the beginning of the day. Like, if you wake up with, like, this unbearable headache,
just say that.
You don't have to sit there and, well, it'll go away. Well, because as a man, I do that a lot. I'll be like, fuck, my head hurts a lot today.
And then Angel sleeps in, and then, like, I'll come into the room, and I'm like, well, he's like, well, I'm tired. I'm like, tired from what? Like, you've been in bed all day. You don't work today, you know? And then he'll get fresh. He was like, well, fuck, like, my head hurts, and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm tired. And I'm like, okay, but did you say that when you had the opportunity to say that? Because now you're yelling at me. And if you had just said, I'm, like, I don't feel good today, then I would have left you to do your shit. You know? Like...
Yeah. Kat's definitely done that to me a few times. She'll be like, fuck, my calf hurts, you know, she caught a cramp last night, you know? I'm like, okay, cool.
I woke up, I pulled my calf muscle, and then I worked both of my jobs that day. And I came back, actually, my Angel was at my other job when I showed up to my second job that day. And I was in so much pain, and I had a migraine, and I was just so overstimulated that I straight up had an attitude. And I was like, I feel good today. I have a migraine, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying if you say these things, it gives you an excuse to be shitty either. That's my biggest problem. Like, I'll tell Angel, this is what I'm struggling with today. I don't feel good, blah, 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 right? And then I'll still have an attitude. Like,
It's more of a warning.
it's more of a
forewarning.
It's more of a warning.
Yeah, because I definitely, and I'm sure Kendall also feels this way. It feels, you just start to, you're immediately like, what the fuck? The second someone talks to you with attitude for no reason.
Dude, you're not thinking about anything they're saying.
Yeah, you just walk into, you're like, hey man, you're like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. What'd I do?
I do that to Angel all the time. Angel comes home and he's like, hey, did you eat today? I'm like, oh my god, like, can you, like, leave me the fuck alone for 5 minutes?
Alright, well,
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying it's healthy. We're not the healthiest people about it, you know? Like, each of us have a problem with this, but I just think, like, when I try to think about it more often than I used to, because I used to just, like, cry and get mad and scream and yell and throw a hissy fit. I really used to. But now I'm like, hey, fair warning, I'm having a shit day. So if I come across, like, if I sound like I'm coming at you sideways, it has nothing to do with you, you know?
It's not your fault.
It's definitely.
I used to.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I did just not. I was gonna say I used to do the same thing, say very hateful
Oh,
things
cool, go
about
ahead.
Kendall's race, but now I tell you that I'm gonna say it. I still say the hateful things. I'm not changing
He's
that.
like, heads up.
Hey, like I'm not.
Ethan's
feeling
like,
happy
I'm
today.
feeling a
Someone's
little
culture's
silly
getting
today.
attacked. A little silly.
Yeah, it got a bit too silly. FBI's coming over.
But yeah,
I
but
hate you.
it's definitely
I hate you too, man.
healthier than the alternative where you're pissed off and then it's built up for so long and then you go and do something stupid, you know? Some people cheat, some people break shit, some people kill
Break
each other,
stuff.
you know? You know, those are
I saw this meme's been floating around for years, but every now and then I see it, and it's perfect for what you just said, Angel. But it's like this woman stabbed like her boyfriend 37 times because she was going through his phone and found pictures of a woman in his camera roll, and it turned out to just be her when she was skinnier. Like
That's
years
super
ago.
Imagine. I would actually be so mad in hell or wherever they send me. That would be so crazy.
Yeah. But people they do crazy shit when they're angry. Like, I think everything can be a conversation. I'm not saying it's not gonna escalate. It might escalate. But if it's going to escalate, if it's going to escalate, at least you said your piece. You know?
Yeah, if you guys are yelling at each other, at least nobody got hit, nobody got killed, nothing got broken.
Yeah. Or if you guys are yelling at each other and then you guys decide later that it's a non-negotiable thing that you're arguing about and y'all cannot see eye to eye, and y'all end up like breaking up or not being friends anymore or moving out, that is also okay. That's the healthiest thing that you can do, instead of saying with someone that's not compatible with you over core beliefs. Because this is the issue. I'm not talking about arguing over the dishes or arguing over like you want to go do something on Saturday, but like
you ate my sandwich.
Yeah, like core values.
My fucking sandwich.
Yeah, like core values, but like if you're sitting here arguing with someone over like, well, I think that this is okay, and someone's like, well, I don't think that's okay, that's not really something that you might want to keep that like, it depends on how serious it is, but if you don't talk about it, you're going to spend a lot of time around someone potentially who is either not good for you or, you know what I mean? It could be literally anything. But if you don't talk about it, you don't give that person to be like, well, hold on, I don't know if I want to be around someone that thinks this way. You know what I mean? You have to talk about that kind of stuff for sure.
Like filling a balloon up with like flammable gas around candles. Eventually that balloon's going to pop and it's gonna fucking backfire in your face. But yeah, it's gonna backfire in your face and then you're not gonna know what to do. You're gonna end up burned and you're not gonna know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
Nope, you're gonna
go to hell.
Ethan, did you have any fun stories about... Oh, wait. I guess it's Kendall's... Go ahead, Kendall.
Ethan having fun stories about, you know...
Funny. I don't know what's funny. I mean, I probably was laughing at the moment, but I'm probably screaming at the moment, actually. But I'm not even going to say specific ones, but I'll just say, like, You know, a lot of times where shit'll happen, and I just kind of regret the way I talked to the person about it, and like the tone I used and the things I said. I'm like, hey, I'm not always like this. Things that happen, like, I'm not like trying to be.
I didn't mean to punch you in the face.
Didn't mean to like just kind of say the most disrespectful shit ever. I was just kind of like, in the moment, I wasn't feeling that shit, so I'm finna fucking just finna get to it.
Well,
I really just reactions for me.
Yeah, but I also feel like, and this may be controversial, but I almost don't give a shit.
Oh shit.
It may be.
Syrian war?
But if you're having an argument with your spouse or a partner or your friends or someone in your family and you do get disrespectful, I'm not saying they deserve it, but they probably need to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what it is. Yeah, maybe I didn't say you were a selfish cunt the right way, but what if you are? Like if someone is telling you something to your face and you don't like it, it's probably true. It's probably true. And that's the thing, is everyone's like, oh, well, I just don't understand why you had to be so mean about it. Or were you listening to anything else before I was mean about it? Some people will not listen until you start getting loud and aggressive about it. Mm-hmm. So if you have to do that with someone, go ahead and do it. I think a lot of people are quick to be like, I don't understand why they had to be so mean about it. It's not about being mean, it's about being honest. There are a lot of times where Angel's like, well, you don't have to be mean about it. And I'm like, am I being mean about it? Or have I told you something repeatedly and you didn't listen and now I'm yelling at you and now you're listening? You know what I mean? Like, I think people are really quick to get their feelings hurt without being like, wow, you know what? There may be some substance behind this person. Like, if someone wasn't arguing with you about it, they don't care. I've noticed that. People who like to argue with you repeatedly or are okay with being brutally honest with you and saying some out-of-pocket shit, 9 times out of 10, they're trying to help you. Because people that don't give a fuck about you don't waste their time arguing with you about shit. Do you know what I mean?
That's actually true as hell.
Yeah, it's true as fuck. And I'm not saying that they're going to be in your life for forever or that it's something that's totally fixable, but consider the fact that they're being brutally honest and are spending the time arguing with you about something or trying to get you to see something from a different perspective because they care. And like I said, it's not all the time. I've argued with some people that aren't in my life anymore, you know, and I can say with 110% that I was arguing because I cared about that person. If it's out of my hands past that, it's out of my hands past that. But you can argue with someone and still have, or you could say some out-of-pocket shits. I can tell Kendall, you know, maybe you should lose some weight before a camping trip. But it's probably true. Or, like, telling Ethan, like, hey, your time management's kind of dog shit. You should work on that. I could say those things and still have mad respect for them and mad love for them.
You don't have much time left, boy.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's just, I'm not saying you have to be a super bitch about it all the time. But if this is something that comes up a lot and it's still not fixed and you care, start that argument. Like I said, it could be controversial, but start the argument. Be like, look, I don't know how you're going to take this, but you need to hear this. You can either shut the fuck up and listen, or I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. Say that.
Yeah, because I've definitely talked about the cat, and I complained about this quite a few times, and I might have just fucked up my intestines too far at this point, but I'm always talking about how my stomach hurts for one reason or another.
I wonder why.
And she says her 2 responses are, you have IBS, potentially, or you eat like dog shit.
Yeah.
They're both true, and I hate hearing it.
Me too.
I hate hearing it because, one, I can't do anything about IBS.
No, I
probably
IBS. I have IBS. I can't do anything about it either, but at the same time, I recognize the symptoms, and if you're going to keep complaining about it, and I have to keep telling you that you have it and you should go to a doctor and keep getting it checked out, if I've had that conversation with you 15 times and you say it to my face one more time, I'm going to tell you brutally, You eat like dog shit, you eat a bunch of greasy food, you eat out a lot, and you probably have IBS. If you don't go to a doctor, I don't want to fucking hear it. You're either going to fix it or you're not. And I think that's the issue with arguing that a lot of people don't understand. It's not about hurting anyone's feelings. It's the reality of the fact that two separate people have two separate opinions. And if they care about each other, it's going to be a big argument. But the most important thing, I don't care if you're screaming at each other. Even if you're screaming at each other, listen to what the other person is saying. You have to. You have to listen to what the other person is saying, because me and Angel have gotten in screaming matches, and we've said hurtful things to each other before, to a point to where I'm like, you know what? I really probably should work on that, because I didn't realize that this person perceived these things about me. And it could be things that I feel about myself, or it could be things that I've never thought to think about before. But regardless, it's constructive criticism. Any piece of advice you should take. Every single piece of advice you should take. Because that's the only way that you're going to grow in life. So if Angel comes up to me and he's like, oh, my head hurts and my stomach hurts, I'm like, well, yeah, you ate nothing but Taco Bell and Cane's and Whataburger the past week.
Beef taquitos.
If Kendall comes up to me talking about Zana, I'm going to be like, there's some issues there. Or if Ethan comes up to me talking about, well, I just think that I'm so tired from work, and I just think that I feel like dog shit, and then, like, I come home and I try to eat and shower, and I feel like I have no time. I'm like, yeah, you're depressed. We all you are, buddy. You are.
Ever heard of Kurt
okay,
Cobain?
We're all depressed.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I can sit here and be like, Angel, your mom's a cunt. Ethan, you're depressed. Kendall, she treats you like shit. I could say those things. I love all of you, though. I do love all of you, though. You know what I mean? And it's not about the fact, like I said, because I can say these things to you guys, and y'all have said plenty of things to me. Like, Kendall's come up to me and been like, hey, you've been like a mega bitch lately. Yes. Or Ethan's come up to me and he's like, you complain a lot about people that don't respect you, and it's making you seem easy. You know? Like, or Angel came up to me today and was like, you point things out in a way that make me feel insecure. That is okay to say. Because the person that I am today, I would not be if y'all don't say those things to me. And because I respect y'all, I'm going to say certain things to y'all back that I perceive with my general knowledge of life, so that y'all can better yourselves as well. Whether y'all take the advice or not has nothing to do with me. But it has everything to do with the fact that I'm giving it to y'all for a reason. You know, I can't make decisions for y'all, you know? I can't be like, hey, Ethan, drink water and go to a doctor. Or like, hey, Kendall, go live your life. Angel, you should, I don't know, like, I can't make those decisions for y'all. But at the same time, I know that if I say it enough, and if y'all say it to each other enough, and each of us hands advice to each other all the time, which people do all the time with each other, the people we will be, because we've known each other for 5 years, the people we'll be in the next 5 years are going to be that much better. I went from a spoiled crybaby bitch. I'm going to say that about myself. I really did. Ethan could tell you. Kendall could tell you. Look at Kendall's face. He knows. I seriously was a crybaby. We would play the game together, and I would cry. I would get off the game. I would play one game, and if I wasn't like the top fucking player, I would scream and cry, and I would call everyone bitches, and I fucking hate all of y'all, and then I would get off of the game. And then
I hear that a lot sometimes.
Yeah, and then Ethan would come up to me and be like, so, probably sounds like you had a hard day, and sounds like people treat you like shit. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, sounds like you're really insecure about how you perform as a person. Ethan has literally said that to my face. And so what did I do? I went to therapy, and things were pointed out to me in different perspectives, and I said, you know what? I am a really insecure person, and I worked on that. And it's gotten me so much further than if Ethan didn't say shit to me at all. Do you know what I mean? If it's not constructive, if it's not outright constructive, just think about it for a minute. You know what I mean? If it's not outright constructive, sit and think about it for a second. If someone's arguing with you, you probably do need to check yourself just a little bit. No one's perfect.
Nope, no one.
Not a single
Not even
person.
not even Priscilla, who won the beauty pageants 5 times in a row. She's not perfect.
I thought you were
You're a
gonna say the
fucking
Pope.
nut.
We should do an insecurities episode. That'd be really fun.
Oh God, no.
Oh Lord.
We should do, you know what we should do? We should do an unhinged episode where we all
Oh, yeah,
argue.
that's fucking movie.
Hold on. An unhinged episode where we all argue with each other about our personal shit and just how we feel about each other, just outright.
Oh,
You don't want you dead.
Kendall, I don't much like the color of your skin. And it makes me angry. Look how white your teeth are. And then I have to, you're like, I watched this show called Curb Your Enthusiasm. You look like this racist lawn jockey thing they have.
Oh my god.
He had
All
like,
jokes,
he
everyone,
was
all
dark
jokes.
as hell. And he had like bad.
Did. Okay, we're done. Ethan, we're done. We're done with the bitch.
Cut out. That's gone.
Jesus Christ.
That's gone.
No, fuck it. I'm not cutting it out.
Oh Lord.
Kendall?
I didn't say any slurs. It can't
Kendall?
be that bad.
Kendall's laughing. Kendall's laughing.
Yeah, there's no hate.
It's a hee hee ha ha.
Oh my God.
That's Kendall's laugh. So it's all fine. It's all fine.
No, that's Kendall's war cry.
That is that racist? Can someone comment?
Did you have another sub question? I feel like we hit a lot in that actually.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm alive for a second. Oh, I didn't even tell my piece.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Sure.
Sure. I think this will actually help a lot of people who have siblings. You know, especially with
I
such
said
a big
households
age
and
gap.
shit. Yeah.
Yes, but specifically,
Okay.
Priscilla. Anyways, but yeah, for those of you who have siblings, especially, for example, I'm 7 years older than my younger brother, right?
That ain't
7 years
shit.
is a long time. Let me speak, woman. Anyway, but especially, fuck, let me move to the thought. It's back now. I got it. I gotta stop doing that. Anyways, before you have siblings, of course you've argued siblings a lot. That's kind of what they're for. That's what I'm argue with. You know, you can't say I'm wrong because it's illegal to. But
I can't see you.
there are some times where you feel like you've gone a bit too far. Maybe you look back and you see,
Oh
you know,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
I've held a
That's
knife to my
how-
brother's throat.
That's what.
It cut out. I heard something my brother's throat.
I've
Yeah, that's all.
I can fill it in probably.
I've held a knife to my brother's throat before because we were arguing so bad.
All right, well, I've never done that.
Oh.
Yeah. You're the only person in this room who's gotten that far.
Oh. Well, you know how he pushes my buttons on fucking purpose.
Yeah, my little brother does too. But at most, I've yelled at him like face to face.
I've thrown pillows at my brother. I haven't thrown a knife to his throat.
I
Yeah,
didn't
you're a
throw
pillow
it. It
mar-
was in my hands. Go ahead.
Can't say.
Anyways, but yeah, I remember like the first fucking once you. I think it started when he started turning 3 and started getting enough times to speak. After that, it was downhill from there. I mean, nowadays, of course, we're fine, we're cool and everything, but I guess just like I'm not sure we call it a maturity gap or whatever.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah,
can
it's a
figure out.
maturity gap for sure.
You just look at him kind of like cringe, like, bro, what the fuck is the one motherfucker doing?
Yeah.
Honestly, he didn't have enough. He had enough skibbity riz for that for me. And
All right,
my
that's it. I'm
God.
cutting you off. I also think.
No more skibbity riz for you.
I think it also has to do with the fact that it's like an hierarchy, because humans are still animals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the little ones are gonna challenge the big one. You know.
Yeah.
Dog
I
in it.
challenged my parents. You know, when I was 8. And then my little brother started challenging me. And. And then he's the favorite, so I started challenging him back.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. But like,
You're my favorite.
I mean, each household is so different though. Like, me and my brother only have a 2-year difference, and we argued the absolute most growing up. But it's because what I feel like a lot of people forget is I don't give a fuck if you're brother, sister. I don't care if you are aunt and niece or grandkid, grandpa, I don't care. But what a lot of people don't realize, and I've said this before on this podcast, they are still completely separate people from me. Like, being related by blood does not mean shit. As far as, like, oh, we're all supposed to get along. It really doesn't. And me and my brother, we're only 2 years apart. We don't have any, like, big problems. But growing up, I was always in trouble for one thing or another, and my brother was never in trouble. We have just, like...
Yeah, it kind of was for me.
We just have very opposite personalities. And then my sister is... We have a 14, 15-year age gap. So it's... it's just different. And... I mean... she's like 7, so it's not like I have any, like, problems with her. You know what I mean? But at the same time...
Did you hold knife to her neck?
No. But at the same time, it's just, like I said, at this point, like you said, Kendall, I hit a certain emotional maturity by the time Lily was up around and talking and stuff, to a point to where, like, I'm not gonna argue about stupid shit like I used to with my brother. You know what I mean? So it's just, but at the same time, like, you just have to remember, like, no matter what the relationship is, you are totally separate people. Like, you've had different experiences in life, you think different things, like, there's just 150% perspective difference all the time. Like, it's nowhere close to what you think it is, so it's just kind of, like, remembering the fact that you just need to, like, understand the fact that since they are different, they're gonna hold different opinions than you. Like, at a certain point, I just stopped arguing with my brother, and I would just be like, okay. And walk away. Just because it wasn't worth my energy or my time anymore. You know what I mean?
I just can't with you right now.
No, not even that. Like, and my brother stayed behind at my mother's whenever I moved out, so it just got to a point to where, like, when my brother would come over, he would still pick fights with me or say certain stuff, and I would just... I literally would go up to Dad, and I'm like, he's pissing me off, so I'm just gonna go hang out at so-and-so's house, or I'm just gonna go do this. And my dad would be like, hey, bye, Because my dad would see how bad we would argue, and how bad I would get hurt by certain things, or how bad, like, just how I was feeling about it, or maybe how Anthony felt about the me moving out situation. And space was just better, I think, for us in the long run. So now whenever we see each other, we don't have any issues. Like,
yeah, I guess that's that one for me though. Having space is better.
Having space is better, I think. I kind of always like the idea of having space from him, just because, like I said, we're total opposites, and the fights that we would get into are brutal. Like you guys probably, like, never, like, name called with your sibling.
Yeah.
I don't mean, like, stupid, and I mean, like, actual slurs.
But
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about slurs. I called him adopted, and he cried.
Oh, I'm not
I call him
talking.
brother slurs.
What kind of slurs did you call your brother?
Well, I can't see it on here.
Well, were they? You can
you
say
say
what kind.
the letter followed up by word. Like the F word, the N word, like you can do that. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hard R.
Oh, all the above.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
All the above.
My brother used to like to call me, like, a whore to my face, slut to my face, like, stuff like that. And to a point to where I was really struggling with myself and my self-image so much, like, I could not be in the same house as him, like, when he would come over. So I would just, like, leave. I would just be like, I can't deal with, like, the shit. You know what I mean? To a point where I was like, but it got to a point to where, like, I realized, like, he's saying these things to get a rise out of me, or because he genuinely believes them. Either way, it's not something I'm going to waste my energy on, because if he wants to get a rise out of me and I argue with him, he wins. And if he wants me to feel a certain type of way about it and I argue with him, you know what I mean? He wins either way. Like, or he wants me to feel bad, or he just wants to sit there and yell at me, or whatever it is. Like, either way, he wins. I think a big part about arguing, too, if you're going to get into a screaming match with someone, is make sure it's worth it, almost, Make sure it's something worth arguing about. Because if it's not something that... I'm not saying it may not mean a lot to you, or may not mean a lot to them, but if you know you're not going to see eye to eye, don't bother. Just be like, I don't think we're going to see eye to eye on this, and walk away.
Or something that doesn't even necessarily matter. Like, if I got into a screaming match with Kat over feeding the animals...
I wish the fuck you would.
Like, what's the point? The animals need to be fed anyways. Whether it be... If I'm yelling at her because the animals haven't been fed, I can feed
the animals are fed, yeah.
Yeah, then you could just feed them. Or, yeah, certain stuff like that. It has to be worth the argument. Like, when me and Angel get into screaming matches, it is because of a personality clash. Do you know what I mean? Like...
Or a very emotional thing.
Yeah. Like, I think the only time me and Angel have gotten into, like, a screaming match is because of, like, his mother, and probably just when he gets, like... Angel, this was the story he was trying to tell earlier. I don't know if you want to tell the story. I don't know if y'all want to hear the story.
I'm interested now.
Well, on New Year's, he got totally, like... He got really fucked up, and he got, like, wasted.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And he got really over his limit. And he started accusing me of only wanting him for his money, which I don't know what the fuck he's talking about because he's broke. Or
she's like, I'm not
or saying that I don't really like him, and you know, like, I don't actually care about him. And I was like, you live in my house, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And it got to a point where I realized he was wasted, so I was like, I'm not going to argue with you. But he would keep going and just get loud and stuff. And then at a certain point, I got fed up. Shame on you, Kendall. At a certain point, I got fed up and was like, I was like, I don't know where you're coming up with these things, because none of them are true. So I don't know if you're projecting your own insecurities or what. The second I said that, he lost his shit. Couldn't stand up. Started bawling. Started screaming. Started breaking shit. I slapped the shit out of him. He felt that shit. He fell asleep for like 14 hours. He woke up. He could still fucking feel his face.
Jesus.
Yeah, but that's definitely what it was. It was definitely a me thing.
Oh, he had a mark. He had a mark. He had a mark the next morning. I told my dad too. I told my dad, I went downstairs, I said, Angel's gonna have a mark on his face. I said, I slapped the shit out of him. He was like, do you deserve it? I said, yeah. He said, alright then.
Alright then.
My dad didn't bring it up, he didn't ask questions, nothing.
Cause he an adult, he know, like, bro, if it's some shit like that, we're not even finna get into it, just know, like, shit happens.
Yeah, but the second I hit him, Angel was like, alright, see, this is what we're not gonna do. I was like, fucking what? What are you gonna do about it? He was like, nothing. And then he passed out on the floor.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
He was just that messed up.
Because I wouldn't have followed it up with nothing. I ain't gonna lie. If you asked me that, oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm drunk.
The thing
I'm
about...
off a bottle.
But here's what I'm saying. Angel was just that messed up to a point to where the second I said, I think you're projecting your own insecurities onto me right now, and I'm not dealing with this shit.
I've done the exact shit, so I know exactly what he's talking about.
You know exactly what the fuck it is.
I've done that.
But I think the second I said that to him, it like clicked in his brain, and he was just more sad than anything.
I just did not like it, I assumed. Because
I don't think he even remembers part of that conversation.
No.
Like, that's how fucked up it was.
That last half of that is just... I remember the hit, and then I remember waking up.
And then I remember...
How fucking hard did you hit him?
He hit me hard enough that I remembered when I was blacked out.
Yeah, so that'll tell
That's
you.
the most vivid part of my memory. That's right like there was getting hit. I was like, she was like, "What do you?" When I woke up, and then she's like, "What do you remember?" I was like, "I remember you hit me." That's it.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was getting him like glasses of water, and he was like, "I'm not gonna fucking drink this water," and like throwing shit. I was like, "All right, you're gonna calm the fuck down, or I'm gonna slap the shit out of you." I gave him like 5 warnings. I was like, "You're gonna calm the fuck down, or I'm gonna slap the shit out of you." And he was like, "No, because this, and this." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about right now?" And then he was like starting sentences and then not finishing them. He couldn't hold his head up. And then he started accusing me of shit. And I was like, alright, bro. I was like, seriously, if you don't shut the fuck up and just go to sleep, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. I probably said that like 5 or 6 times.
Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. So I slapped the shit out of him.
I know that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's what. Whenever she was like, "So what are you gonna do about it?" My core belief right there is what stuck out. It was like, "You don't put your hands on women." I was like, "No."
Oh no, fuck that! You can put your hands on me when I deserve it.
then we gonna fight back. We gonna fight back. I ain't gonna lie. Oh my god.
If it was the other way around, I hope to God Angel slaps the shit out of me. I'm being for real.
Nah,
I'm for real.
gonna piss you off more. Look, you're like a bull. If you're already pissed off and I hit you, it's just gonna piss you off more.
Yeah, that.
Fucking smoke Looney Tunes gonna come out of his fucking ears.
The difference between when a man gets angry and he gets hit, and a woman gets angry and she gets hit.
No excuse for.
Or someone rather wrong. Someone like Kat versus someone like me getting hit. When I get hit, I'm like, fuck. When she gets hit, she's like, oh, so that's how we're throwing down, huh? So you just gotta pacify her. You pick her up, and you're just like, all right, calm down. It's okay.
In total honesty,
baby.
I don't believe in that whole, oh, you don't hit a woman, oh, you don't hit your partner. I don't believe in all that shit. If it's fair, it's fucking fair. And when I slap the few times I've slapped the shit out of Angel, it's been fucking fair. No, actually, I take that back. There's one time I slapped you and it wasn't fair. It was my fault.
I like how you said, like, the few times.
No,
it's been very few times.
It's been very few times. I think it's only been like, I think I've only hit you twice where you deserved it. That's another thing. Angel was like, you hit me all the time. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You beat
me. No, I'm tired of it.
Well, what it is she'll like to just, like, while I'm trying to sleep, she'll be like, I'm bored, and poke my ribs as hard as she can.
He was so fucked up. He was just spouting shit out. Like, all his wires were getting crossed. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, it just hurts. She doesn't beat me. It just hurts.
I've only slapped the shit out of Angel twice where he deserved it, and it was that
she doesn't
time.
Beat me.
And it was another time where, again, he got... No, actually, you weren't drunk for this part, but you were arguing with me about your mother and that whole situation.
Money.
And you were basically just, running your mouth off at me again. And I was like, you're gonna shut the fuck up, or I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
Yeah, there's stuff that I really shouldn't be saying. Like, things like looking back at all those things, I'm like,
A lot of these arguments where I've had to, get Angel to, see the point and get outside of, where he's at is just because he's in that spot. There was one time... stubborn. Yeah. There was one time I slapped Angel. And by the way, when I hit Angel, I just hit him once, and then that's it. Yeah, I'm not sitting there swinging on it. If someone's swinging on you, you better be swinging back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, she don't follow up with him on a foldable chair. It's not like a Dolph Ziggler kind of thing.
No. I'm very, I just do, the one slap across the face, and if it works, it works. If it don't, I leave. So, I'm for real. I've left, a lot of people don't know this, but I have literally left Angel before over this kind of shit. I'm like, fuck it, I'm leaving. I get in my car and I leave. I don't give a fuck.
I'm going to Brad.
No. But...
What?
I don't know what he's talking about.
She looks like, who's Brad?
Who's Brad? Who the fuck is Brad?
It's his secret lover.
Right.
Oh. New Kindle War just dropped?
I was about to say the same thing. There was one time, though, I slapped the shit out of Angel and I didn't deserve it. Because, okay, back to the original question. When did you get angry and you probably regret it?
What did you say like that? Never do that again.
Sorry. There was one time we were new to the relationship and I had a bunch of past trauma from relationships and past trust issues from relationships. It was Valentine's Day and he had just fallen asleep. So what do when you have trust issues on Valentine's Day and your partner falls asleep? You reach over and snatch that phone. Ethan gets it. You reach over and you snatch that phone. Yeah. So I'm going through all of his messages the past year. We've only been dating for a few months. But I'm going through all... We'd only been dating...
It was 4 months, yeah.
We'd only been dating for 4 months, and I'm, going back and reading conversations he had 2 years ago.
From years ago. No, not even 2 years ago. From, 4 years ago.
That's a while, man. Jesus.
I've grown a lot. I've grown a lot as a person and as a partner since this. That's all I want to say. But grabbed his phone, going through messages. I found these messages from, 4 years ago. Me and Angel were dating as adults. I found messages from, his girlfriend in high school. And I, threw his phone, woke his ass up. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Da 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 da. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, sitting here looking at that message. He's like, Kat, this is from years ago. This is not recent. Like, you know,
I think he called me about that actually.
I think I did too. And actually, now I was like, can you believe this shit? Kendall was like, well, hold on, Kat. You might actually be wrong here.
I was like.
Angel's
I didn't
like
even
going
know you
through,
that point.
Yeah, Angel's like looking at these messages, like trying to put two and two together. He's like, did someone just message me and she saw my phone? Like, what's happening, you know? And he's sitting here looking, and I'm like, oh, so you want to act fucking stupid, huh? And I slapped the shit out of him.
And I was like...
Angel, like, got hit. He was like, okay. And, like, Angel just, like, hugged me. I slapped the shit out of him, and, like, I was about to get up, and he, like, stopped me from leaving and just sat there and hugged me, and I sat there and I cried for, like, 15 minutes, and then we fell asleep.
Well, because I mean, she's traumatized. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Hit her back?
That's
no.
the thing, and this is what this is exactly what I appreciate about Angel as a partner, is in that moment, he saw how vulnerable I really was, and he understood, this is not a me issue. Kat did this for a reason. I know it doesn't have anything to do with me, and I know it doesn't have anything to do with her. Someone has taught her that this is how this is supposed to go, and it's my job to fix that. So that's what Angel did. I have not gone through his phone since. Angel fixed it.
Angel, can I have a hug?
You need to hug that bag? What did Zana do to you? Jesus Christ.
I just want to hug, man.
Did she touch your no-no square without your consent? Are you okay, buddy?
Dude,
did she go through
Kendall
your phone?
can't get her to touch his no-no square with consent.
Right.
Oh, so no head?
God damn it. Well, no. Whatever. I was like, shit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But, yeah, it's not... and anger's a two-way street. Sometimes you really gotta breathe before you get fucking angry, you know? Because what if I had gotten upset at that moment and I said, you know what? Get out. You know?
You probably would have died.
Yeah.
But why? You know?
I think I've only ever been in a screaming match, like, one time. It wasn't with Zana. It wasn't with Zana. It was like a buddy of mine.
Of course it was.
Well, because you don't argue. This is what I'm saying. You don't express your emotions in a healthy way. You should definitely have had more screaming matches by now than what you think you should have.
I'm just not that much of an angry person as was like.
You're a very angry person.
You're very angry.
Yes, but
don't let this smile and this calm demeanor fool you. You're a fucking psychopath.
You will walk away from your computer while we're playing video games, and we won't notice because you've been quiet for the last hour because you've been pissed off for the last 3.
Yeah, like you do have some rage issues, buddy, that you should address.
And I think the only reason you walk away is because you've broken your shit before and you know what's coming.
Plus, you need to have arguments in order to have a healthy relationship. So the fact
you gotta get it out.
So the fact that you and Zana have
we have arguments.
Do you have arguments or do you have conversations?
Debates?
Yeah.
It depends on the topic, how it started.
No.
It does depend on how it started. I agree with that.
Like, are you saying sometimes it wasn't an argument when it started, but it ended up being an argument? Is that what you're saying?
Something like that.
Yeah, like...
Well, the conversations are arguing, so tell us about these arguments.
Okay, I was going to talk about the guy in the screaming match first, because that's more interesting.
Nah.
Yeah, the screaming match, that's what he was... No, I want to know why he got that upset, because Kendall does not scream, unless he's trying to be funny.
He screams at us all the time.
No, he raises his voice.
There's my voice. That's not me screaming.
This is even then. This is about as loud as he gets, if not maybe 2 decibels higher.
Literally.
Like I remember, it was like back during the summer, like freshman year, fucking high school. Me and his buddy of mine, we were doing some shit, and he was doing some wild shit, and I just no.
You didn't specify, so I thought I would just give my opinion on what I thought it was.
Oh god, it's so good.
Fucking hate you. Anyways, he was doing. We were both doing stupid shit, but he was going like a lot too far, like fucking arson, something like that.
Okay.
We found this like abandoned car in the woods. And he wanted like light on fire, blow it up and shit. It's like no, that's a felony. But he was farting arguing me and shit. over some shit. He probably
It's not a felony.
No, it's not.
It's not.
If you didn't feel safe around it, that's fine, but it's not a felony to blow up shit in the woods.
Yeah, if you're
it's
on,
called
I mean,
controlled
as
demolition.
long as it's not someone's private property, it's not really a felony. And even then, if you
Okay,
destroy someone's,
I'll keep that in mind.
so
Anyways,
you were wrong.
whatever. Anyways, we started screaming at each other because he started screaming at me, and I hate being screamed at, so I started screaming back at him. Then I calm him down, then turn to anger and shit like that. Eventually, we started fighting and shit. I slammed him to the ground. He fucking liver shots me, and this just turned into a whole fucking scrap until I don't know. Both like fuck it, whatever, and just gave up. We're still friends.
Fucking never back down. What the fuck?
No, I don't.
What the fuck?
No, yeah, but we're pretty evenly matched, pretty much. But games
Oh, well, that's boring.
I can see you like crunching the dirt. Like you get real mad, kind of like makes a TikTok about crunching dirt on you.
Yeah, if you're evenly matched, it's not fun. And
yeah, when you hear about these other arguments, I want to hear about an argument with substance because that's kind of a stupid argument.
I don't think Kendall has a lot of substance arguments.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's been in a relationship for years, so one of them has to have substance.
I mean, I know me and Zach, like, just like early on, like year 2 of relationship.
Early
and she's
on?
some age.
We're still year 1, and we don't
That's
call it
not
early on.
on, Kendall.
Well, I guess for them it is because they're year 7. So
I guess if you want to call it that, but go ahead.
Anyways, there was like some like political shit we were talking about.
Those are good. Wait, if you have different political views, how does that work for y'all's relationship?
did y'all have political views?
It was different back then because like a lot of her views like were influenced by her parents and stuff like that. It was like one of those things.
Okay.
And her views like reinforced by the parents. So I guess she thought it was like the only correct way, something like that.
Okay.
And when I had different views, she got all uppity and stuff. And that turned into an argument.
Well, it's important to have the same political views as your partner for the most part. Just because, I mean, that's something that you guys build your beliefs on and pass on to your children and stuff. So it's kind of important because if you guys don't believe in the same things, how are you're just not kind of compatible. Because political views are the same thing as, like, values and morals. Like, y'all believe that, like, life should be conducted the same way. And if you're going to spend life together but think that life should be worked out in, like, opposite ways, that doesn't work. So did she change her... What was the argument about, like, specifically?
Oh, man, I can't fucking remember. It probably came out about, like, fucking... I'm trying to fucking think, because... Oh, yeah. It was, like... I don't know, some stupid shit. Like, are you like fucking? I thought you were a Democrat, some shit like that. And I kept telling her, but no, I thought this fuck is stupid. Why? I've always
just
been
like the political party. I thought you meant like an actual issue.
Yeah, like being against.
Like abortion or being,
taxing the poor,
gun laws being reformed,
or having more military at the border.
No, I do think that to do with an argument we had pretty recently. Me wanting to get a motorcycle.
What?
That's not an issue though. We're talking about actual issues that would affect y'all's relationship.
Probably the motorcycle.
No, you would not break up with Zana over a motorcycle.
But she would definitely break up with him over a motorcycle.
No, she wouldn't. If she's not sick of his shit by now, she's just kind of stuck.
That's true.
So it's true, yeah.
And though, my parents are stuck. Okay.
It happens. You can be stuck. But what I'm saying is an actual issue. You know, like, did y'all ever argue over, like, a mutual friend, or maybe you didn't like one of her friends, or maybe she had different views on marriage than you do, you know, shit like that. Like, actual things that would affect y'all's future.
Yeah, like...
How does she feel about, like, maybe y'all feel differently about abortion, or maybe y'all feel differently about, you know,
even displaying affection to each other. Like,
yeah, PDA. I mean, a certain thing, like an actual argument where you're like, hey, I don't appreciate it when you do this, and if she was ever like, okay. Or if she came to you and was like, hey, I don't really like this, this, and this, and you're like, well, I don't know what you want me to do about that. Like an actual argument.
no way. If you
Y'all
have to
are
think
not
that
the same person, so one of y'all is lying. Either that or y'all don't have conversations about this kind of stuff, which is kind of unhealthy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you have to think that fucking hard about it, Kendall,
That's
I can
pretty
name
unhealthy.
at least 5 different times me and her.
Angel, what's my views on abortion?
You can't
Can we
put me on the
say that?
spot like that. You know I'll fucking know. You know exactly what the fuck.
Am I
I'm just
for
saying-
abortion or against abortion? Let me put
I
it
think
that
you're
way.
5 it
You're for
actually.
it.
Okay.
You for it. If it helps somebody out, if it, because one,
Well, we're not going to get into the specifics. I don't need to know
Okay,
why.
yeah.
I know why,
But-
but I'm just saying,
Ethan,
You-
what angle are you at?
whatever angle
That's
he
my
wants
fault,
to be
my
at,
fault.
he's in a cute angle, okay? You leave him alone.
he's the Kindle
Yeah, so.
he's the Kindle POV.
He's an obtuse angle.
He's
You
in the
leave him
Kindle POV.
Yeah, you should definitely have more arguments with Zana, though, because y'all
I
are
mean,
not the same
we're-
person.
yeah, we're not really that argumentative.
That's what I'm saying.
Neither am I.
You don't have to be argumentative in order to have a healthy relationship. Y'all are two separate people. Y'all did not grow up the same way. And like you said, it's like, okay, y'all had different political views at first. Maybe she's changed her mind. But specifically, like, y'all are not going to... Like, what if she wants to go to college and then you want to get married? What if she doesn't want to get married until after college? What, are you just going to wait 7 years, 8 years for her to be done with college? Or are you going to be like, well, I kind of wanted to be married, now.
Or 30.
Or what if she's like, well, I want to be married now, and you're like, well, I think we should wait until we're 30. That's going to cause an argument, These are things that y'all should talk about.
Or is one of y'all just like, I want to do this, and the other one's like, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's not healthy. Because the
And-
other person is making moral sacrifices or not being honest, and it's going to come up later in life, too, which is... Then y'all are going to have the argument after it's too late. But, like, Zana's never had an issue with any... See, even Ethan agrees, and Ethan don't even do this shit.
She had an issue. Me want to get a motorcycle.
No, that's not an actual issue, Kendall. That is something
you
that
just-
you want to do for funsies.
You said something that you want to do. I want to get a motorcycle, and that's been a whole, like...
No, I didn't say something that you want to do. I'm saying, okay, so what if I was like, hey, Kendall, come to this party with us. We're going to hang out, like, really late, and then you're going to spend the night, right? And say that she doesn't know me. Let's pretend she doesn't know me. And you're
Okay.
like, hey, I'm going to go spend the night at Kat's house after this party. And she was like, well, hold on. I don't know this person. You're just going to go spend the night with us at this female's house. I don't know. You're telling me she would not start an argument over that.
Yeah, if she didn't know the person, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, me and you, the first day we met, we stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games. Either she
Yeah.
doesn't know about that, or she does, and she had an issue with it because she didn't know me, and she's lying to you about it. Like, these are the things. Like, having these arguments is healthy because then you get to know, like, okay, this person doesn't like when I do this, this, and this. And it helps you prevent arguments later. She doesn't do any of that?
You do any of that?
Yeah.
Do I do any of that?
Yeah, are there certain things that she does that you are not okay with that you've brought up to her or haven't brought up to her? Well, if you haven't brought it up to her, maybe not put it out on the podcast first.
Yeah, I brought up how I hate how she keeps fucking like dismissing herself. Like she can't do anything. Every time she works up with something, it's like fucking.
What do you mean?
I can't.
I need you to be more specific because...
I was about to get to the point there, lady. Like, for example, the fucking animation thing she wants to do. Every time she psychs up to do something, she's like, "No, I can't do it. I can't do it." It's like, what the fuck? You're just doing it. What do you
So
mean you
y'all
can't
have
do
different, like, ambition levels. Y'all have different, like, work levels and stuff like that. Like, you're probably more self-sufficient where you're like, okay, well, I can just learn how to do it. And for her, she's like, no.
Yeah.
Just play with her mind a little bit when she said, like, no, I can't
the
do
thing
it.
about
Like, what
that
can you
is that
do?
could cause an argument later, because when it comes to y'all living together, Angel does the same shit. Because Angel, whenever he moved in, I was like, okay, can you do this, this, and this? And he's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And so then nothing gets done on his part. Because the thing about that is I'm in your position where I'm self-sufficient and I'm like, oh, I'll just learn how to do it. You end up doing most of the work. So either you're okay with doing most of the work, but like I said, when it comes down to the situation, you may realize, like, it's kind of exhausting dealing with someone who just doesn't do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or is unwilling to learn how to do things just for the sake of not doing them. Like, those things could cause arguments later. Like, those are the things. So when she says those things and you argue with her about it, is that like, do y'all have a heartfelt like, what do you say to her? Are you just kind of like, no, don't say that? Or do you say, okay, you really need to shut the fuck up, because you're either going to learn how you're going to do it, or you're not going to pursue your dreams the way that you want to?
Well, I don't tell her to shut the fuck up.
But are you brutally honest about it? You have to be, because you're kind of her partner in life.
But yeah, I tell her that you can't keep thinking this way, or else you're gonna like keep just hurting yourself and like fuck up your brain by thinking like that.
Oh, well, that doesn't do anything.
What?
You could tell people that all the time. Like, even Angel's shaking his head. If you tell someone something like that, they're just not going to listen. They aren't.
I was hoping you didn't notice that subtle little shake.
I did. Because if you tell someone, like, oh, well, don't do that because you're just going to discourage yourself. They are discouraging. They're already doing that, Kendall. The thing about, if you're going to argue with someone, or here's the thing, Kazana is, like, she's passive argumentative. Where she's saying something to get, like, a rise out of you. Because she'll say that, and she knows how you feel about her saying stuff like that, right?
Mm.
So you just kind of have to be like, okay, well, you keep not wanting to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to get better. And if you are unwilling to do that, maybe it's not for you. Then all of a sudden people want to get their shit together. People did that with me in school, where they're like, okay, well, if you don't want to do the work and you don't want to be good at it, then don't do it. I'm like, well, hold on, I do want to do it. They're like, okay, then do the work. And I'm like, fuck. It seems like common sense, but sometimes you just have to push that thing. I don't think, like, this is what I'm saying, especially in partners, you're there to push each other. Not to be okay with each other all the time. You're there to push each other and to grow with each other. So if you're not going to push your partner, especially if you have a passive partner who is just okay with, like, where they're at, y'all aren't going to go anywhere. Because it's just kind of like you're okay being the same people forever. That's not how that works. You know what I mean? Like, if she wants to be better at animation and you also want her to be better at animation, you need to push her to do those things. I push Angel all the time.
Yeah, it gets irritating, but it gets it done.
Yeah, Angel pushes me in the morning. He does it in his own way. Angel's the passive person in our relationship. And I'll wake up mornings and I'll be like, I'll wake up some mornings and I'm like, man, I really don't want to go to work and do all these things, right?
Right.
And Angel, since he's not as aggressive, because for me and you, Kendall, we're the aggressive ones in our relationship. So for me, I'm like, Angel, you keep complaining about the house not being clean. Let me show you how to do this real quick. You know? And that gets exhausting. Mm. So I'm like, pop open a YouTube video. Learn how to do this shit yourself. Like, you're a grown-ass fucking man. Learn how to do it. It's okay to say that to your partner. But since Angel is the passive person in our relationship, like in the morning, when I'm like, I really don't want to go to work today, I'm so tired, he'll be like, okay, like, come on, let's go ahead and get ready for the day. And I'm like, ugh. And he's like, well, how about I get you a water and, you know, like, help you get started with the day. There's different styles of pushing your partner, but you have to push your partner. Otherwise, they're not going to grow. And if they don't grow, and you don't grow, your whole life's going to go by and you're going to realize, like, well, that was a waste of time. Or, if your partner doesn't want to grow, but you're the only person growing, it's kind of like, you realize, like, man, this person kind of really fucking sucks. Like, this person just doesn't want the same things that I want in life. You know, this person doesn't want to, especially if they're not pushing you, it almost comes across like they don't care. They don't care about how well that you do, too. So if you are going to push someone and argue with someone to better themselves or to better the relationship or better the friendship, you have to do it in a very constructive way. But, you know what I mean? Because if you just tell someone, like, oh, don't feel like that, you're gonna make yourself feel bad. They already fucking feel bad. Tell them
just asking for self-pity from you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I didn't want to say it that way, but maybe it is. And that's the thing, Kendall. Then you have to ask yourself, okay, I've told her this a few times before. Is she just looking for pity, or does she just feel like complaining? You know? And then and then you ask her, because again, you're not a mind reader. Ask her, like, okay, well, you keep saying this, so do you just feel like complaining that you don't know how to do it, or are you actually wanting advice? She's like, well, I just don't know what to do. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe you pop open a YouTube video or Google and you teach yourself how to do it. Because if you want to get good at it, you're going to have to learn how to be good at it, you know? You have to push your partners. Be aggressive.
Off a bridge, you know, to their limits, you know?
Aggressive. No, I was kidding.
Please don't.
Ethan was ready.
Alright. Kendall, do you have any more questions?
You know, my nails are clean. Can I play with it?
I don't think I get that one.
Ethan, you're giving me PTSD. Leave me alone.
That's terrifying.
I don't want to know. Ethan,
What do you mean you don't know?
Later.
Like,
Ethan, just drop it, buddy. Just drop it.
There you go. I know it. I love how I seen it in the motherfucker's face. He was like, oh.
I knew he was talking about from the beginning. I'm just gonna ignore it and move on.
It's like a bad high school relationship.
Yeah. Yes.
Kendall doesn't understand.
I
understood it. I've seen it in his face the whole time.
I'm choosing to ignore it and just move on.
That's why I was like, damn, what could it be? Because if Kendall gets it.
Dang.
Anyways, fuck, man, I can't.
Yeah. I think this is horrible. A good place. It's 9 right now. So
wait, I know Kendall's on the word, but what y'all gonna do after?
Well,
jack off.
Anyways, let's talk about that in a second because we're still rolling.
Fuck, I forget it. I hate that shit, bro. I just be thinking because I really gonna say some shit one day. This is really gonna be bad.
You forgot we were recording?
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you haven't done or said anything that might have gotten us like in trouble or canceled or Kat would have had to cut out.
Because the things that were
Ethan's like, we're just sitting here having a conversation.
What it feels like.
Ethan's like, we're all hanging out, group call. Ethan's over there kicking his feet in the background.
Hanging out. I'm not wearing any.
Hashtag girls' night.
But without the fucking orgy. Anyways.
That's not off the table, but.
Oh god, no, it's off the table all the way. Anyway,
it was never on the table in the first place. Anyways, I'm pulling up the wheel.
Okay.
The wheel.
Any last little bits before we sign off?
Yeah.
Ethan.
Ethan, any last words before you die?
Try to be nice to people. I mean, you don't have to.
Aw, Ethan's so girly pop right now. Look at him.
Huh? I think
looks like that one German kid from Willy Wonka.
Ethan's so kawaii right now. Just be nice to people. Look at him.
Remember to kiss him on the lips, sexual style.
I think you should be nice to the people. I think that evaluating. I think listening to somebody fully before admitting a response is always good. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listening. What was it that?
I think listening.
Yeah.
What is it that they say? Communication is not communication is not key. Comprehension is.
You remember? Yeah, I was like, am I gonna have to say?
No, you can communicate all fucking day, but if the
you're not gonna listen.
Yeah, but if the other person is not comprehending what you're saying, you are talking to a brick wall. So, and same thing.
I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall with Ethan sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's talking to a brick wall with you.
I'm not like you're like the most one in ear out the other person I've
Kendall,
ever met.
Yeah.
No.
You really are. You're listening.
I could listen to the whole thing and then tell you I don't give a shit. Even after I could repeat to you what you just said, and then I'll tell you I don't give a shit. But I'll at least listen to the shit I don't give a shit about first.
Yeah, it's true. But
yeah, just listen.
All right, Kendall, go ahead and get the real ready.
Angel. Well, Angel didn't say anything. Angel got something to say?
Kendall, you have got to fucking figure it out, bro. I'm still figuring it out myself. I'm sure there are people out there too. Kendall, you have got to figure out this anger thing. You cannot blow up.
It's true.
On us.
Kendall needs therapy.
I have started blowing up a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was a good example. I told Kat, I was like, hey, sounds like you've got a lot of attitude with me, and I haven't done anything.
I'm like, you know what? That's right. I'm still gonna have an attitude with you, but you are correct.
You know, and she did have an attitude with me, but I could definitely see that she was trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop.
I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
As opposed to me blowing up and, like, shut the fuck up. No.
I mean, either way.
You gotta figure it out.
Great. Yeah. I think everyone needs therapy. Everyone should do therapy at least once. Yeah. But like I said, comprehension is key, not communication. You can communicate all day long, or someone can be communicating to you all day long. If neither of you comprehend what the other person is saying and actually try to understand, you will get nowhere. So, just keep that in mind. We are going to get this wheel ready. Ethan, so kawaii.
Huh?
So kawaii.
What the fuck is that?
God,
It's Bobacita, my guy.
Bobacita.
You fat slut.
I haven't
Alright.
eaten anything.
Hey. Ethan is not
What?
fat.
You're talking about me because I'm talking about the Wingstop on my name.
Oh.
No.
Angel's not fat either.
Yes.
We are all beautiful. We're all beautiful people. Everybody's
Yeah,
beautiful.
look at my picture. I'm some little ooh thing.
Exactly. Is that not you?
Ethan, can you give us an ooh woo for the camera?
Please don't. Anyways, I'm
No, I can't, but I could.
Do it.
Be
If it lands on you, you gotta do it. All right. So, any last words?
Cat?
Any last words?
Kendall is not the. I would just like to point out that Kendall is not the real no, I'm not gonna lie. Kendall's probably like a level 10 gooner. I'm not gonna lie. Kendall goons at like level 10. And his edging streak is insane. I would just like to point that out.
Okay.
I didn't even notice. I'm not going to
I don't even know
respond to
either.
that.
So, I will be your host for next time. Make sure you guys.
Kat will be our host for next time. Make sure you guys.
Kendall, you're so bad at the outros. You know you are.
Finish it out, buddy.
Let's wrap it up, buddy.
Let's wrap it up, buddy. Oh, okay.
I'm trying to go watch my nut. Come on, Jesus.
For fuck's sake. Fine. Shut the fuck up. Let me speak. For God's sake.
Okay.
No.
Hey, did you happen? Sorry.
Stab me to death. Thank you all for watching. Follow us at We're on YouTube and Spotify. We post fucking videos on every Wednesday. You better fucking be there and watch it. Better support our shit.
We're gonna
pointing out the
follow us on
person right here who happens to be black.
Social medias.
No, Kendall, redo it. Redo it.
Don't
Can
look
we
at
do
my
an actual outro? Can we do it just one time? Just an actual outro.
Okay, fine. Stop fucking talking! For God's sake.
That's gonna faint, bro. Come on.
I'm gonna faint. Okay, thank you all for watching. Follow us on all our social medias. We're on Spotify or YouTube, both for audio and video. We've got both now for free. You don't have to pay for anything. Follow us on our social medias. We post every Wednesday. What time on Wednesday? Oh no, we just post Wednesday. So yeah, Kat will be your host next time. That'll be fun.
Okay, that's it. Jesus Christ.
Yes, I'm about to be fucking finished. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.